got things masked off so I can start cracking away at that. All my parts are in now, so it's just paint and put it back together. So I'm going to start with that top piece, then I'll do the front, and away we go. So today I finished painting the front end here, and I did it very, very detailed. Beautiful. And I tore my entire heating system out. Blower from the outside, the entire heater box from the inside, gutted, because I'm going to make that all beautiful too. Why not? Plus there was still some mice nest in it. And so far all I had to do was use this scraper to scrape that heavy gunk off, and then I just hit it with some Goo Gone Pro. Right, sprayed it on there, and then I used a just a scouring pad to scrub a dub. I mean, that stuff pretty much came right off. I'll probably just give it a light sand and paint that up nice. You know, treat it the same way we did with the fenders and whatnot, and it'll look much nicer and seal up much nicer as well. And while I got this open, take a look in here. You see that right there? That is your fresh air vent in there with the little manual pull knob. That is a big problem, because any water that gets down in there and then comes down in here is meant to pass right by that and go on out. But if that seal is all crappy, instead it's going to come in, and that's where a lot of these things leak. When you see the water all on the floor in them, that's rotting out the floors in these, that's one of the big leak spots right there, just so you know. Inside the truck now, you can see this is that little manual vent. There's that big hole going outside, and here's my firewall. And if you ever want to know what CUCV paint actually looked and felt like, that's a great place to find it. It hasn't been weathered. Now this was all underneath some insulation, which was, you know, had gotten damp over the years. The mice took it apart. It just was nasty and gross. So I pulled the entire box out of there. Very simple to do, just a few screws. And I'm going to do a little light work here. Same treatment. You know, take care of any spots in here and go ahead and throw a brand new insulator in there and put it all back together nice. You can see here the insulation that was in there is just falling apart. The little outer shell of it's just a crumbly mess. It had been pulled. There was some dampness, a little bit. You know, from little leaks in that nasty sealant that we just scraped off with the scraper and Goo Gone. Alright, so I got a brand new one of these from LMC Truck. I'll show you that. Alright, so I have my insulator pinned up right now. So let me just show you what I got going here. I just have the original rubber pin for that corner down there. Alright, and then right here you're just gonna already have a screw poking out. You just put that little retaining clip on it, and then let us go to the other side quickly. Over here it's going to be pinned down 1, 2, 3 screws of your gas pedal, and then you'll notice I cut it. And the reason I cut it is, look up, yeah, all right, so you get these brackets, and then if you want to get this in one piece, the only way is take out your steering column. So unless you want to tear all that out, you're gonna end up having to cut that. Back here to the passenger side. Now I don't know if I got the wrong part number or what, but this did not match up perfectly for me. It was the right sizes and it fit in there right, but the holes weren't cut right. Like you can see, this is a pop out. That's where the air box would go on whatever truck this goes on, I guess. I ended up cutting my own out for where my air box is. So you know, I probably ordered the wrong part, but either way they come with nothing punched out, so you can cut them out yourself. If something doesn't match up, you can fit things. But I have it loosely fit, and then what you want to do is go ahead and feed all your wires through. So I just dropped that in there, and then let's see, I got this other one here. This is brand new. You guys remember I cut the tip off of my heater, the part that goes out in the resistor bank out there. So I got a new one, nice and pretty. All right, that's good to go. Look how pretty. All right, so you can see once I had that insulation pressed up against here, it's easy to just take a marker, trace it out. Trace out anything that wasn't done for you. So here is my blower box, and here is what I have scraped off it so far, just with the scraper. Of course, there's still plenty of residue and whatnot, and this thing is pretty bogus. But I'm gonna make this like new as well. So the next step is I'm just gonna hit that with some Goo Gone. A little bit of the old Goo Gone Pro. Let it sit right on there for a little bit. And we can just use a scouring pad, wire brush, whatever. We'll go ahead and treat this like we did all the other metal. Prep it up and make it nice. So all this is it's been, you know, cleaned up, prepped. Then the POR 15, you know, a little sanding first, then the POR 15, then the POR 15 top coat. So that POR 15 goes on, you know how it lays down really nice and shiny, and it just really smooths a lot of stuff out. And then that top coat, this is the chassis black. Now I did the same thing on the frame over here. Look at that frame. It is absolutely stunning. Had some rain hit this. See, it's all open. Now it's getting rained on, but it is still absolutely lovely. Right? Clean as a whistle. And here we go. Here is the POR 15 top coat in chassis black. I actually went down and grabbed this from my local parts guy, Golis Brothers. Shout out just for having this stuff in stock. But you can see it's not cheap for a can of this stuff. But it does go a long way. You don't need a ton. All right, follow the directions and everything will be golden and everything will look really, really nice. If you do it, take your time, do it right. And of course, that little blower box will go right back here. And you can see it is all nice and neat and ready and waiting for it. You may also notice, see, my OCD is not going to allow these covers, but for now. But you may also notice I have reverted back to an original filter. And this is a new old stock right there. All right, OEM. So all brand spanking new, still all tied up, never used. And this is great. And I told you in my other video when I was putting on my spin-on filter that I was going to revert back to this. I was going to rebuild the one I had. In this case, I was able to secure a brand spanking new one. Instead, the reason I'm doing that is because my water and fuel light will now work, and there is actually a little heater built into this, little fuel heater. All right, which is kind of nice thing to have. You can't get that with the spin-on. So there you go. I'm going back to that. So you can see I got the shocks installed. All right, everything's good to go. So it's time to put this heater box back in, and it's really a very simple thing. Let me show you something. Right here you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, these 3 here are studs that are on this actual box on the inside, your heater box there, okay? All right, so let me show you from the inside. There's my box poking through. All right, just stuck it on my brand new insulator there. And this is not the box that came with this truck. Let me show you the box that came with the truck. This is the box that was in the truck. Rusty, dusty, musty. Didn't leak. That's a good thing. But you can see here, that's broken off. Okay, that's broken off. What they were basically something like this. They were in little clips. So 2 out of 3 of the studs were broken off of this box right off the bat. So I didn't want to just finagle that back together. It was kind of ugly. So I got another box. 1, 2, 3 studs and 1 screw. That's all that box is. Right there. Goes right on against your insulator there, and that's that. So look at that nasty, filthy thing. That thing was gross. All right, so the one I got in there is it's really nice. It's in great shape. Of course, I cleaned that box up real nice too. The new one, made sure it was super clean inside and out. And now I am absolutely sure there is no evidence of mice, and I'll make sure none get in again. All right, so now what I'm going to do is create a seal all around that edge so I can stick that to my firewall. And I'm going to use some butyl tape. And then afterwards, I'll probably hit that with a little bit of silicone sealer around the edges, make everything pretty. Now you can see here I have the butyl tape all on there. Then I'll just peel that off, mash it a little bit together, make sure everything is sealed nice. See, I went around the holes, not just on the inside, I went around. And pretty simple. Okay, so with the blower box, what you want to do is leave this one in. Not all the ones I just showed you. Leave that in. Put it all the way as tight as you want. Leave that one, no nut. Leave this one, no nut. And take the screw out of there. And then we're just going to take this and we're going to fit it on there. There you go. Butyl tape all pressed on. Mashed together nice around the edges. Of course, when I tighten it up, it'll be even nicer and smashed in there. So let's do it. Start to see the butyl tape pop out of the side like that. Don't crush it down yet, but when you start to see it, that's when you want to start putting in all the extra screws for your box. Okay, and you end up with something like this, right? Which to me just looks a whole lot nicer than all that stuff sprayed all over the place. Nice tight little bead on the inside all the way around. That just pressed itself out. To finish that off, all I used is a little bit of the right stuff. All right, Permatex. All right, some gasket maker. Silicone, basically. You can see here I use the silicone for the heater core, inlet and outlet. And that'll also keep things from getting up in there into your insulation. There's the heater motor. All cleaned up, beautiful, right? Nicey nice. Didn't take much effort. Took it apart to take the little hamster wheel off it, and that was it. All right, heater box is done. You can see I got that motor put in, so everything's good. All the wiring's done. Everything's tight. Everything's neat and clean. By Jove, I think it's time to go ahead and start putting these fenders on. I went ahead and I bought all brand new fender bolts. These are from LMC Truck. Got some spread out here. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my beautiful new fenders and put them on now. Easy as that. You remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That piece is in. I got these things almost tight. Got them a little loose just so I can shift things around. Don't tighten anything down all the way just yet. Let's go ahead and throw that fender on now. Putting them in is pretty easy. Just drop them right in. That's it. And there we have it. Fender back on. Now, when you put these on, you want to have your doors on first and line them up to your doors, because your doors are supposed to already be lined up with the cab. As you can see, my door is FUBAR. So, very difficult to do it that way, but I do have it very, very close. Pretty good. Pretty close. You gotta tighten it up now. Just look how beautiful. Would you look at it? Mint. Brand spanking new. It's coming out nice. Brand new. I am going to do some final body work, obviously, when I'm done with all the... I'm working it from the inside out. So I will do some final body work, all the little dings and pits and all that stuff in the very end. All right, over to the other side. All right, nice. Well, the fender is on. I already got most of the stuff patched onto it here, all the little pieces and parts. You can see I went ahead and cleaned up the firewall on this side too, because why not? So I did right up to basically where the steering column comes out, and if that ever needs any work, that or the brakes or anything there, I'll hit it then. But for now, that is together. Look at. Right? Really, really nice. A few more things to do. Just gotta hook my water lines back in. I gotta put my speedo cable back in. I just got it plugged up for now, so no mice got in while I was working on it. And I gotta put all my little peripherals on here. I got those all ready to go. I'm gonna do those now, actually. There you go. And they're just like new. This is for my slave cable. I mean, these things are mint. No breaks, no cracks. All right, it's all my trim over here. Everything looks good. It's the new headlight bezels, so that's why I didn't put the headlights in. You gotta paint these up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stick all these on there now, and I have a grill too. It's not bad, but I'm not doing not bad right now. I'm doing really, really great. So I can't have this, I can't have this, and that's two problems with this grill. Other than that, that was actually a really nice grill. I did order a brand new one off of Pony Parts. So I'll have to paint that up. But for now, this is gonna finish off this part of the project right here. I wanna get that done now. We have our horn installed. We have the front drive light installed. We do have the marker lights installed. The front slave receptacle just sitting there. That's got to be wired up. You can see that these are ready to go. These were wired in front like this. You can see everything's in front. I'm actually going to bring all this behind the radiator support, make that a little prettier. Clean this up a little more. What I want to do is show you this. That is your basic headlight bucket, and that's a brand new one. All you got to do is you got 1, 2 screws, and here's where they go. All right, this is the passenger side of K30 CUCV. 1, 2. All right, and then you're going to put your hook right here. See the hole it goes in? It goes in through the big hole and then hooks in through the little hole back there. All right, and then it's just gonna go hook up into that little cup right there. Just try to get it up and down and left and right straight for now. We'll worry about it, fine-tuning the adjustment later. All right, so we're just gonna grab our headlight, grab our brand spanking new freshly painted bezel, mount that thing with the little screws that came with my headlight buckets. All right, and the first time you do these on a brand new set of buckets, they're just gonna kind of self-tap themselves right in there. You'll feel them kind of break into that fresh hole on the bucket, these screws, and then they just, off they go. All right, very simple process. Brand new buckets, headlights installed, good to go. They look good. Quick and easy. And that's all wired up now, and as promised, it's all behind the firewall. So that looks nice and neat. Now look what just came in. It's the new grill. I haven't even opened it yet. Let's do that now. So this is not actual GM, even though it shows the GM logo right there. GM Restoration Parts. These are licensed. Come on now, let go. Now we're gonna have to modify this. There it is. So, all right, that's good to go. Now, does it match? Let's find out. Look at that. That is the same grill. You got the little emblem receiver there. Just plug up. All right. So, as you can see clearly, we're gonna need to make some cuts. We're gonna have to do that here. So we're measuring like that. Over here, you can see we have to do the same thing. All right, do that right here. Now on the inside, here. And right here we're gonna have to do this. So this is nice. The plastic is not old. So all we're gonna do is make our little cuts in it and, you know, prep it up, paint it up, good to go. Cutting these out's pretty straightforward. You can see it's a slight angle, and you can see that even the original cut was really not that neat and clean. I mean, they just cut it out of there. We can probably even get that neater and better than the original. So we're going to try to cut that out right here. And it should be as simple as measuring from this flat edge here to their cut, and from this flat edge again to this cut. Measure to here, you're going to find that's 6 5/8 right there. All right, and then we're going to go here, that's 11 7/8. Take your basic straight edge, and there's your lines. One side. The other side's even easier, see? So I'll just clean this all up. I'll come back and just hit that real light with some sandpaper and then scuff this whole thing up with a Scotch-Brite. All right, let's do this little cutout now. All right, we're gonna put that right here. Now you'll notice it's a little bit off-centered, so all I'm gonna do is quick measure from there to there, 1 inch. Yep. And then from here to there is 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches. Now you got to find something of the approximate circumference of that. In my case, I found a roll of tape that fits right in there perfectly. All I'm going to do with that roll of tape is start it up here and drop it down until the outside is lined up on those 2 little markers. That looks good. Pin it there, and I'm just going to trace it out. All right, let's take the old whizzer, the cutoff wheel, and see what we can do here. And again, just going to clean off that melted mess there. Nothing you can really do about that if you're going to use high speed. See that? You can see my orange line right there underneath it all. No harm, no foul. All right, and then I'm going to sand that down on the inside. Make it smooth looking. Even though it's hidden, nobody sees it, I know it's there. All right, swap out that cutting tip for a little barrel sander. It was quick and painless, wasn't it? Look, and you can see once they're cleaned up, I mean, they got to be painted, primed and painted, but very nice. Let's come on over here. Look at that. And then if you look in here, you can see. We'll just hit this whole thing now with a Scotch-Brite, then we're going to prime it. And through the power of video magic, here we go. Look at that. Which one would you rather have? Busted McBusty over here? Or this beautiful mint condition, right? Thinking about offering these on my website. All done up for you. We'll see about that. Now's the time. It's going to look so good. I can't wait. Hey, you guys ever heard of Irma? Irma Gerd? Look at that. So you don't get too much more minty fresh than that right there. Now these battery boxes that I took out were just really, they're too far gone. I could do something with them, but they're gross. I don't like them. So luckily I have tons of parts laying around, so I have a really nice set. I'll clean those up and throw them in. Battery trays are in. All right, underneath you can see I put my originals right back in, and right now they're just bolted in. You can tack weld these on if you want. I'm just going to blast a few holes in here. 1, 2 in this one, and I'm going to blast 1, 2 in this one, and over here, down, down, down. For now, I just put in washers. You see that? But that's just temporary while I create the brand new piece that goes there, which I have marked off. But I need to go get an inspection sticker, so I can't be farting around any longer. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this up. Everything's in nice and tight. I got to put my little rubber skirt in there. That's about it over here. Just for S&G, I threw my old bumper back on just so you could see it together. But that is actually not the bumper I'm going to put on it. That's the bumper I'm going to put on it right there. And yeah, the paint's a little screwy, but I mean, this thing, that thing's mint shape-wise. So I'm going to clean that one up, and that's a whole nother video, you guys, because those bumpers are something special. But for now, let's just take a quick look through. Look. Right, it's all good to go. Everything's hooked up, everything's wired up, everything just looks absolutely ducky. Okay. Beautiful. Right? And it cranked right up. You know, I had enough fuel already in the IP to run it for long enough to pretty much prime that out. You know, I want to do a how to prime your truck video, but it just ran, so let's crank it up real quick. Oh, it just starts and runs so good. Cranks right up. So that's it. Good to go, you guys. So, in case you haven't figured it out yet, just like Frankenstein, guess what? This truck has finally earned its nickname. Have you figured out what it is yet? Should be pretty obvious. That's right. The Body Snatcher. Call it Snatch for short, or BS.